Now, the G20 Science Ministerial meeting kicks off at Carnarvon in the Northern Cape tomorrow. That's the site of the square-kilometre array that will be the biggest and most sensitive radio telescope in the world upon completion. Senior reporter Ulrich Hendricks and video journalist Tshwanelo Masia are at the SKA site near Carnarvon.
So we're at the SKA site here, just close to Carnarvon, Northern Cape. Of course, it is a construction site, as the SKA-Mid is being constructed. Let's speak to Dr. Lindsay Magnus, of course, the man in charge of the SKA-Mid. Dr. tell us firstly, I'm sure everybody wants to know, what is the progress of construction regarding the SKA-Mid? You guys started about a year ago with the first dishes.
It's great, Ulrich, it's great to be here. So we're about 4 years in the total 10-year construction cycle. So a couple of the early years we're procuring contracts and so on. Right now we've got 7 of these new big dishes physically under construction on site. 4 of them have completed their big lift, so the big dish being lifted up onto the pedestal. And then of course we've got the remaining dishes either being fabricated in the factories in China or already on the sea on their way here.
Okay, so we know last time we spoke, and that was about a year ago, we had more than 400 papers, research papers from the early days of the MeerKAT, and so what has happened since then? I'm sure a lot more exciting research papers and discoveries.
Of course, and the scientific community is the bedrock of this instrument. In fact, earlier this year in Görlitz in Germany, we hosted the next SKA Global Science Workshop, which is where we brought all the scientific community together to sort of lay out where we are with the project, when they can start expecting data and so on. And so it's still a few years away from when the scientists start getting SKA-Mid data, but in the meantime, MeerKAT operates as the fundamental, best case instrument in L-band astronomy here in South Africa.
Okay, and then of course we have the ministers coming here tomorrow. In terms of the SKA is being shared between South Africa, Australia. We know Australia is also coming here, but with in the SKA organization getting more members, are we doing there?
Yeah. So currently there are 13 full members of the square-kilometre array observatory. We're always looking for new members. The nature of this kind of instrument is that it brings astronomers together. So we're in early conversations with countries in Europe, with countries in Asia, to get them involved in the project. A big part of this project is not only the science it delivers, but it's the opportunity to engage on a technical level. What it means is that countries who participate in the project get to develop their industries related to the cutting-edge technologies that we use on this. So it's kind of a win-win for a country to get involved. So not only do their industries grow and their technology improves, but eventually their scientists get to use the instruments and the data that comes from the telescope as well.
Dr. Lindsay, I know we're jumping around a bit here. So you said you put up 7 more telescopes since we've been here last. How are they talking to each other? Getting them online, and also the difference between the MeerKAT telescopes and the SKA-Mid telescopes.
Yeah. So the MeerKAT telescope operates with a set number of receivers. These receivers are specifically tuned to listen to different parts of the radio spectrum. That tells us more about what we're listening to in space. The SKA-Mid receivers are very similar but slightly different to the MeerKAT receivers, and so what it means is that there needs to be this interim time where we operate both systems on site. And so currently the Mid receivers are starting to work. We're starting to get the very first data through the Mid systems, and then for a while we'll run and compare the two and make sure that what Mid delivers is a step up from what MeerKAT currently delivers. And so that process will run through the whole of the construction process, and then eventually once we're comfortable that the new instrument is delivering, then we will start integrating the old MeerKAT systems into the new Mid telescope.
I'll be amiss not to ask you, in terms of the new, I saw last week also there was another discovery using the MeerKAT dishes. what has been happening, what caught your eye in terms of the discoveries and the research papers in the last couple of years or last year?
So one of the things that instruments like this produce is a buzzword known as big data. The ability of our technologies to analyze that data is evolving. And so one of the things that catches my eye quite a bit is the ability to troll through data that was possibly captured years ago. Using better algorithms, better analysis techniques, we're able to unpack a whole wealth of information. And that's the thing, is these telescopes leave a legacy of discoveries. The things that we see and that we're looking for right now are what is top of mind. But in the next generation and the next weeks, who knows to come, someone's going to put together a new interesting algorithm. They're going to look at all this existing data and find new and interesting things. And so that's the thing, is we're setting a legacy of well-captured, well-curated data that is going to be available for astronomers for lifetimes to come. So that tickles my fancy, because it truly is a legacy of discovery.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Dr. Lindsay Magnus, of course, Director at SKA, of course, saying that he's very excited about not only what MeerKAT is delivering at the moment, but also of what is to come.